Today, we're going to talk about the hypocrisy of Elle Duncan and all sorts of topics that relate to that. Hello, everybody. I'm Mark.
And I'm Rob.
So, hey, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so and hit the notification bell when you do so you get notified of our next video. So, as most people know, ESPN, all black females, Rob, sorry, they're all black females, gave Caitlin Clark a hard time all year about the Olympic team, about whether or not she was actually assaulted and not assaulted or targeted, how good she was, and all sorts of things, try to help hold her down. And Elle Duncan was one of the leaders of that. She insulted the fans during the year, in addition to Caitlin Clark, and she blamed everything on Caitlin Clark fans instead of just acknowledging that really part of the reason was them. They were being biased and prejudiced. They were tribalism, racism at times, Rob, I would suggest.
Yeah, and just out and out being stupid. How's that?
Stupid, lying. Yeah. Lying. And we're going to show that she was lying. And I'm going to show what a hypocrite and, as Rob said, stupid. I don't like calling names, but she's.
No, I don't like. I usually don't like use that.
Not calling her stupid. We're saying they're what they said was stupid. Just so it's clear, we're not calling her stupid.
No, I'm doing both.
At times you're going to be tempted to say that after you watch this video, though, because I'm going to break this down logically, and you're going to see how dumb some of the comments are. Let's just put it that way. She started out by saying something like this, Rob. We'll start with this.
The new fans are sucking the fucking life out of the WNBA right now. It's just the truth. You are right, new fans. There has never been more viewership because of Caitlin Clark. There's never been more attention. But you know what there was in the WNBA last year and the years prior? There was other storylines. There was joy. There was talk of competition. There was talk of what was actually happening on the court. And all there is right now is a culture war. It is a them versus you versus them. There is othering. It is gross. It is not fun. It is not engaging. There's no nuance in this situation anymore. So I'm done waiting for the next time because she's going to get fouled again, guys. The idea of talking about the W at this point, exhausting. I'm already exhausted, and we're a quarter of the way through the season.
I love the part where she says there was joy.
Yeah, that part got me good, Mark. What got me was the joy.
I love the part where she says there was joy, as if the drama is Caitlin Clark and their fans' fault, when in actuality, it was just the opposite.
Well, so Mark, I won't say stupid. How about not intelligent? I'll put it that way. How's that? That was really a very unintelligent statement to make about how things are in NBA because of Caitlin Clark and how she's so. What a drama! I'm fed up. I'm running. I'm this. Oh, geez. So yes, princess. Yes, you. Oh,
like they took the joy out of it by being unfair to Caitlin Clark. It wasn't the fans' fault. They were just pointing it out. But I just thought that was the start of it. Yeah,
it's not it wasn't the fans' fault. I mean, so you blame the fans and you blame Caitlin Clark.
She was on Imani Jones, and this is what she said about Caitlin Clark, and it was really interesting, the wording that she used.
Firstly, the second that you show love to anybody not named Caitlin Clark, you are part of, some constituency that's trying to keep her contributions at a minimum, and you're racist, and we get a lot of that. It's no wonder that the W coverage is all black women because you're all in it together to try to keep her down. It's just, you're kind of damned if you do and you're damned if you don't at this point in the W, which has been really frustrating because the competition's never been better. The storylines have never been more plentiful. I am a firm believer, though, Bo, that like the bad faith characters that were sort of like, I'm only here for Caitlin. I'm only here. So much of that nasty rhetoric has toned down since the Fever got bounced from the postseason. And I don't think it's because necessarily people aren't watching. Like, we're still setting huge ratings increases record ratings despite it not being any fever games involved. Obviously, her games saw exponentially more growth and more viewership, but we're still over-indexing anything that we had done in previous years. So I've seen a lot of that calm down, and it's kind of become what it could be.
Rob, did you catch the fact that she said we?
Yes.
She said we, not she works for ESPN. She doesn't work for the WNBA, and she wasn't even talking about a team. She was talking about the league. She is a sportscaster supposed to be neutral and objective, and she was saying we as if she works for the WNBA.
Right.
She doesn't work for the WNBA. She works for ESPN. Where's this we coming from?
Yeah, where's this we stuff? And then the we are who are the we? I like how she just made a emphasis on once the fever are gone, things are back to normal, and everything was toned down, and we got more.
It was so beautiful without them.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. Well, I mean, are you like hating big time? How can you like? You're supposed to be, like you said, she's a sports reporter. Her bias, and she's worried about how everybody says something about Caitlin Clark. You can see why. Someone that's so biased as you are, using we, and then saying, oh, it's much better with that. She's not there. The viewership is up. Are you kidding me?
Rob, if you didn't like that comment, you're not going to like this one even more. Are you ready?
Understand that Black women are always overlooked, and no matter what they end up doing, they had to work twice as hard for half as less. And
now, Rob, I just want to point out, I'm not saying Black women aren't at a disadvantage in general in society, but in broadcasting, Black women have more of an advantage than anyone else over the last 30 years because they serve two minorities, so they're more likely to get hired in all types of broadcasting, be it news or in sports. So that's ridiculous what she's saying.
I mean, what she said is correct as far as society and going through the over the years with women and Black women. But like you said, in the sports aspect of it, I think they have the advantage. It's just the opposite. I think they have the advantage. Did you see how many white broadcasters did you see for the WNBA? How many?
Zero, Rob. Rebecca Lobo is biracial. She's Cuban, but she wasn't one of the commentators. She was just doing color commentary. In terms of women commenting on the sport, doing the halftime shows and commenting on First Take and commenting on ESPN, it was 100% Black women.
Right.
5 Black women out of 5. This is no white women ever played in the WNBA.
Yeah, right.
Even though 1/3 of the biggest stars in the history of the WNBA were white.
Right. Right. So, I mean, her saying that is, I mean, like I said, yeah, women and Black women had to fight. I mean, we do. I mean, I agree with her. We have to be double and triple better. But in her field of sports broadcasting, there's no problem with that. I mean, seriously, if they see a pretty Black woman and if she has any kind of sports background, she's hired.
Yeah, and she's an attractive woman, so she has even more of an advantage. An attractive Black woman in broadcasting has the biggest advantage of anyone in the last 30 years. Not 50 years ago, but last 30 years ago. Yeah,
right.
They have to fill quotas and stuff like that. So look at the look on his face.
Yeah,
he's almost asleep on that one. She loves to ramble on, and we'll see. All right, let's get to the next. She's just so full of herself. I don't know what to say.
Ruined every safe space. And then you've got people like Christine Brennan, people who I think were former proud journalists who have just devolved into fangirls. And she can sort of say whatever she wants about like, well, I'm writing a book on Caitlin and like, I'm asking the tough questions and this and that. But to watch the fangirling, like we love sports. I definitely have athletes that I'm fans of, but like for that to impact how I approach my comments on a game or how I dissect a game or my analysis of a game is just weird to me. And we're watching it happen with all of these journos who aren't journalists anymore. They're fangirls. They're like, it's like weird to me. It's just bizarre. And I know.
Rob, for her to say that things don't affect her ability to be a neutral commentator and being objective is ridiculous because she's just the opposite of that. But
She's talking about fangirls. I mean, what What are you talking about with fangirls?
This is the best, Rob. This is my favorite part right here.
I firmly believe that the biggest star on the planet would be Paige Beckers if she had stayed healthy throughout her college run instead of sort of stopping and starting. But she is, in my mind, going to be one of those stars that 10, 15 years from now, just like a LeBron James. We talk about this young girl from Minnesota, popped on everybody's radar as a 15-year-old and handled the immense pressure it takes to be
Every time
Rob, now keep in mind that she said she would be not the biggest star in women's basketball, not the biggest star in basketball, not the biggest star in college women's basketball, not the biggest star in the United States, not the biggest female star, not the biggest sports star in the planet, but the biggest star in the planet. She couldn't have said it any bigger than that. The biggest star in the planet.
And she talked about being a fan, and she just.
Did she sound like a fangirl? Or did she sound like a fangirl there?
Yeah, she was a total fangirl there. So
way overstating Paige Beckers. So that I found that interesting. And the reason, I wonder why, Rob, that SB speech where she bowed down to the black women had anything to do with the fact that she'd be any bigger fan than Paige Beckers, who bowed down to all the black women at the SB speech. That's why she's a big fan of hers. You would think that she wouldn't think that she would know that Caitlin Clark was great or not. But I'm going to show you that she's actually admitted this several times. Here's what she said.
Caitlin is a once-in-a-generation type of talent because I've been watching her for years since she's been in college. I didn't just get introduced to Caitlin Clark like some of these fans did. And to think that she is some innocent, poor innocent girl getting picked on. She's a tough woman. Okay, she can dish it too. She mixed it up with DeWanna Bonner. She's no pussycat. She got better and better and better and became the best scorer that we've ever seen in college because people tested her. She was tested. She wasn't targeted.
She wasn't targeted, Rob.
She wasn't targeted.
But you can see how great she thinks she is. She was on the Dan Lebatard show, and this is what she said about Caitlin.
People just want everything handed to Caitlin, and Caitlin doesn't want that either. Come on, man. She didn't become the greatest college basketball player of all time by wanting anything handled to her. The greatest shooter by wanting people to not defend her or face guard her.
Okay, so you heard that. She also said this, Rob.
Yes. And I think that's the frustrating part is that I'm not one of those people that's like, you're new, you should have nothing to say. But the problem is that these new people don't really have anything else to talk about. They're not particularly researched. They're not watching these games. They're certainly not texting sort of the experts or the analysts that they have at their disposal to ask them what are storylines that are worth selling. And so they keep going to the same tricks. She's being targeted. She's, the best thing to ever happen.
Wait.
And she's being snubbed. It's just like the same rehashed, and it doesn't matter how.
Look, you can stop it there. But why does she think that we, as a new person, we have to go to the analyst to figure out to know what the game is about? We have to go to her specifically. It's like, geez, I'm a new person, so I really don't know anything about the game. Can you explain to me about what the game is about? Like you're some kind of get over yourself.
No,
you think
keep in mind, she didn't follow the WNBA until this year. She admits that in one of the videos. She was following women's college basketball. She didn't know very much about the WNBA, which is very interesting because of the comments that she makes. She acts like she should be able to speak about the WNBA, even though she's new to following the WNBA.
Yeah,
but
she's
nobody
also
else
new.
can.
Yeah, she's also new. So what is she talking about? Like, well, the new people, they have no right to have any input. Please stop by and ask her first before we do any kind of input. Like, who are you?
Well, what she wants you to do, Rob, and this is where she became famous.
And then to have someone come in who has been amazing for the game, for the sport, of her own volition, worked really hard in Caitlin Clark, but to have this group of people come in and immediately invalidate the contributions of all of these women before her simply because they don't know, that's what's been frustrating, you know? So yes, people are going to talk about it more. But God, please just educate yourself so that you can have bad takes that involve basketball and not bad takes that send racism and misogyny into the timelines of these women.
Educate yourself, Rob.
I know nothing about basketball. Yeah.
The reason I brought all that up was two things. Is that she's telling people to educate themselves. And she's also saying that Caitlin Clark is the greatest women's basketball player of all time, and she's a generational talent, and that we all knew that she was going to be great. Yet, when she was on another show, Rob, this is what she said. Watch the look on her face after 3 seconds.
The idea that she's in the top 3 for odds to be WNBA MVP, it's more disrespectful to the women that have already been in this league than it is an endorsement or indictment of Caitlin. So I think that's, I hope
you can stop it there. You can stop it there. How is that disrespectful to the people in the league? How is that disrespectful to the people in the league when she's better than the people who've been in the league? She's way better than them.
It gets worse than that, but let me just finish the last 6 seconds of this.
Statement on Caitlin, an endorsement about how incredible everybody else was. And you mentioned some of those of the idea.
Yes, it's an endorsement of what she's upset about, Rob, is that we weren't talking about the black females who basically, built the league, supposedly. But
the past.
So Rob, you would think that sometimes we know Candace Parker was MVP as a rookie. So we know that it wasn't impossible for them to possibly get this MVP award ranking for Caitlin Clark. I did some research and I found out that, Rob, there was actually 9 players in the 26 years, because the first year doesn't count because there was no rookie, who were rookies that placed top 7 in the MVP voting. So this was not an unusual thing. It happened over a third of the time. And if Caitlin Clark is this generational talent who's the best player in the history of women's college basketball, wouldn't you think that she would place in the top 7? So I only saw one that said top 3rd, a couple that said top 4th, one said 8th, and one said 13th in the MVP voting. So that was spot on. But you saw the disgusted look on her face after 3 or 4 seconds about Caitlin Clark being considered to be in the MVP, which seemed very consistent with the history of the WNBA, which she said we're supposed to be studying. So I studied this, and that's what I found out. And 7 out of 9 of these women were drafted first, Rob, just like Caitlin Clark. And Caitlin Clark and Breanna Stewart were the only ones that were universally won 2-time Player of the Years. So Caitlin Clark was ranked way higher in terms of potential than almost all these women.
Right. Yeah.
That's why she was predicted to come high in the MVP voting, not because people were delusional.
Right. And then to bring up how she even be considered is very, I don't know if she's supposedly, we're supposed to come to her about the game. She should know about what was going on in WNBA. Caitlin Clark's one of the top 5, like top 3 players, definitely in the WNBA. Why would she be considered in an MVP vote?
And look what she came in. She came in 4th. That was the most common prediction, or the most common odds for her was 4th place in Vegas. There was one for 3rd, several for 4th, one for 8th, one for 15th, which was an insult to Caitlin Clark, the one for 13th.
Yeah.
But so I just found it really interesting that she admitted that she was a generational great talent, and yet she got disgusted when they thought she had Las Vegas odds to come in 4th in the MVP voting.
The main point is, like you said, Mark, you did the research, and she said, for her to do that, since the new people didn't do it, and then she know, and you found out you're wrong. Hello, you're wrong.
If she had done her research, she would not have discussed it. She would not have been disgusted in the odds for Caitlin Clark. Is my whole point.
Right. Exactly.
That's what I'm trying to say. She's a hypocrite and stupid in terms of her analysis of this. And
Right.
it's because she was biased against the white woman that came into the league because she was all upset that black women weren't getting enough attention.
Right.
Talking about the other people in the league, and Caitlin Clark was getting the attention. That's
Right,
all.
exactly.
That's all this is.
That's the bottom line. Yeah, you're right. That's the bottom line.
So, anyways, I kind of like wanted to tie all that in together, and just shows you. This shows her motivation, and I'm sure all the other black women on ESPN have the exact same motivation, and that's why their takes were all wrong.
She said we.
And she said, yeah, she said we. Like she was actually. I was flabbergasted when I caught that. She said we. Like we had higher ratings this year. She doesn't work for the WNBA. The last I checked, maybe she got hired to be a promotional person for them. Everyone but Caitlin Clark, she works for, I guess.
Right.
This is my summary of Elle Duncan, and I could do this for every one of the women that were on that show, Rob, if I wanted to. But I did it. She's the most vocal one, so I thought I'd be vocal with her.
Right. All right.
Anyways, let us know what you think of this video, and let us know if you like this video, hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so. Hit the notification bell when you do, so you get notified of our next video. Join us for our live show. It's going to be this Monday night from 6 to 8, except for major holidays, Eastern time, that is. And you can call in for the show, so it's pretty cool. And also, if you haven't donated to the channel, you can with super chats and super thanks down below, and the link to PayPal. I want to see you in the next video.
All right. Peace out.